Hey, welcome back to the channel, man. Welcome back. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below. Let me know where y'all from, who you rocking with, who you a fan of. And so basically, a lot of people was wondering what Offset's gonna do, what group he's gonna go with. And he's way cooler with Gucci Mane from 1017 than he is with Yo Gotti, because a lot of people know that it was a last resort to sign with Yo Gotti. And so that's why they get a lot of the smaller underground artists that came big. You don't see no big time person going and signing to CMG just right off the bat like that. It's usually somebody who came up from under. And so that's why people are saying that Offset's going to go sign with 1017 and become a 1017 Icy Boy. And so when Pooh Shiesty comes out, they're going to be working together and everything like that, because at the end of the day, even if Quavo said that the Migos is done and over with and he doesn't want to do anything to do with it and he would quit it and even fight them or whatever, then it's like, you know what? Offset just got to do what he got to do, because he's going basically still. And they can't stop Offset from doing anything, because Offset knows that he don't have nobody that has to control him. He don't have to answer to Jay Prince or Jay Prince Jr. or anybody like that, because he knows at the end of the day that Quavo does have to answer to them, and he still has to go and basically check in with them, because they the ones who's making everything happen. Like, there's no reason why Quavo would do it on his own. He's definitely clicked up with them and has been for a long time. And that's why he's been taking trips out there and everything. And when the situation happened with Takeoff, it went left, but Quavo ducked off and he was riding with the whole other side right before, man. So RIP to Takeoff and everything. But now moving forward, Offset's going to go right with 1017, because he on Young Dolph's side, really. He don't want to have to go and join CMG and have to deal with the whole CMG RICO that might end up coming that people was talking about, because at the end of the day, he's not going to get along with Black Youngsta. It's only enough room for one of the big dogs inside that group, and so they're going to have too many egos going back and forth. It's too many people at one time that they're dealing with in CMG, so he'd rather go with 1017, and that's what Big 30 was also thinking and saying too, because Big 30 knows that, yeah, the only reason that they had a disagreement with Gucci Mane is because Yo Gotti stepped in and Moneybagg Yo was trying to sign him before he got onto 1017. Otherwise, he would have went with his cousin Pooh Shiesty straight to 1017 and went with Gucci Mane, because look how it is now. They stayed out the streets. Big 30 stayed out, and so he's not locked up for anything, but Pooh Shiesty is, and a lot of people from 1017 started dropping and everything for the last couple of years, or ended up getting locked up or anything like that. Look at Hot Boy West. A lot of people ain't what you thought it was going to be out of 1017, and so that's why there's more room there. And so Gucci's recruiting. He's looking for a lot of people. He's looking to get Big 30 back over there. He's looking to get Offset and whoever else that's really trying to come over there, because they know at the end of the day, they don't want to have to deal with the whole RICO that's playing out. And so anybody that needs to switch, or if ESTG needs to come off and go into 1017, he'd do that, because they know what's close to it. And Yo Gotti and Gucci Mane been had to be for a long time, so that's going to even play a role into the whole situation, to where he's going to feel some type of way about people who switch out of CMG and go to 1017 due to the fact that they don't want to be involved with everything that's being done around CMG and everything like that. I mean, look at Big Jook. That's Yo Gotti's brother, and he literally dissed Yo Gotti and threw the chain against the wall, saying that that chain was fake or something's wrong with it. He doesn't like the chain anymore. If it's a CMG chain and he's saying he doesn't like the chain anymore, that's a diss that's saying he doesn't like CMG. It's flat, point blank, period, man. And that's supposed to be Yo Gotti's brother. So if his brother feels like that about him, if Yo Gotti's even a brother, that's supposed to be his big brother, and Dolph called him big sister and everything like that. That's why they always talked about him, because they know that Big Jook was doing a lot of stuff in the streets for Yo Gotti that Yo Gotti couldn't necessarily do, because he was already wrapped up with Jay-Z, and he don't want that to come back on him. And so basically what's going on is that the fact that they're going to end up doing a whole lot of stuff to where they're going to have to dip and dodge and get out of CMG, and Gucci Mane is going to be sitting there waiting. And if Yo Gotti pulls up to Atlanta, then Gucci Mane is going to make sure that nobody touches him or anything like that, and that people are in the way and everything in between him and Yo Gotti, because they can't have a situation to where Yo Gotti and Gucci Mane get into some sort of altercation. That can't happen, because if that does, then it's going to basically blow it out of proportion and start a whole new thing, just like how the Young Dolph and the Yo Gotti played out. And another thing is the fact that Moneybagg Yo and Ari had a whole thing with when G Herbo was supposed to be seeing the shorty at the same time. A lot of people saying that it was a fake relationship and everything. And so that's another reason that Moneybagg Yo wants to get out of town, because he already understands that Ari, whatever, was hanging out with a whole lot of different dudes while they were supposed to be together. And so technically that was just like a whole plant thing. It was like for the whole attention and the crowd to get them to get into CMG music, to buy the albums. And so that's what's going on really out there. And a lot of people was thinking that they try to finesse him and play a game on him. And so it all comes back because Yo Gotti at the end of the day knows exactly what's going on. And so they had to do a lot. They had to do what they had to do to survive after the Dolph thing, because at the end of the day, when Big Jook told and Black Youngster went on the run and Straight Drop and Shondell got caught up with Cornelia Smith and Devin Burns and Govan Hernandez and Big Jook and all those guys, they know that every single one of them had to assess something, and they said way too much, because that's how they ended up going after the next one and another one and one after another and another and another. And so that's what's really happening. And so people know that at any given moment, even though Black Youngster says that he's the black sheep, he's out of the whole group and everything, he could still speak on everything that he saw with CMG. And so if they get him into the interrogation room and ask him the questions about what happened with the Bentley truck from Young Dolph, what happened with the whole beef, is that connected and everything like that, then that could take them all down. And so basically they all are holding each other responsible to make sure that they don't tell on each other, and half of them already have told. And so that's why Moneybagg Yo at this point, he already too hot right now, because of the fact that the Bentley truck was last seen like where he gifted the Bentley truck to Ari and everything, or one of his girls or baby mamas or whatever the case was, right? And so he already knows that that's way too much heat on him. And so he can't even be seen with Black Youngster or Yo Gotti, because that would make it so that he's connected further into it and that he's hanging out with them daily. And so that's why he's been ducked off in Atlanta and everything, and basically might even consider switching to 1017 himself. A lot of people at this moment, it's a pivotal moment into where they gonna get the justice for Young Dolph and anybody who's tied into it, and all the people that is surrounded by that, but they want to get away and remove themselves from the situation so they don't end up getting wrapped up for everything like is going on right now. And so that's why people are distancing themselves. They're making sure that if anything happens with CMG, that they got 1017 right there waiting, that they got another group and another group. They might even go all the way to Snoop Dogg. And so at any basically anything is fair game at this moment, because they still got to continue what they got to do, even if it was something that was a beef between Yo Gotti and Young Dolph, and they want to keep it where they stay out of that stuff, because they know that they don't want to tank what they got going on, and they got to feed their families and put food on the table and roofs over their head, and they can't sit there and do 25 to 50 to 100 years all because of the whole RICO coming back on them due to what happened to Young Dolph. And so what y'all got to do is just subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment. Let me know what you think.